Hi everyone, I'm Catherine from the Ridgefield Historical Society. I'm here with artist Bil Mikulewicz, who's the creator of the Votes for Women, the Road to Victory exhibit. And today we're going to go inside the exhibit again to discuss panel 4, the national movement, Remember the Ladies. Hi, Bill.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay on this blustery Monday. Um, Wanted to talk with you a little bit about what the challenges were in creating this panel.
Okay, this panel brought up some interesting uh, considerations. One was how to handle the text. Remember, in the second panel, we had a long list of dates, a timeline, and no pictures pretty much. Now we're talking about women, so we have images, we have pictures of women, and we have a lot of text which is important, but yet text which is, if just lumped in one big galumph, probably will never get read. So what I had to do or wanted to do was to use 3 different sizes and 2 colors to differentiate or to fool the eye into thinking it won't take long to read just this little snippet instead of having to read a whole paragraph of 7 or 8 snippets. So we broke them down. And if you want to move in a little bit on the panel, we can take a look. Now, unfortunately, on some, you see the green lettering in the center. There's no way that could have been broken up, or at least I didn't know how to, in the space and the sort of the way we were proceeding. So that is just one lump, but it's very thin, and perhaps people read that just because it looks like there's not that much. I chose to use blue for quotes from the ladies, so those blue sentences are what they're known for, their most quoted comments. And then, of course, the biggest piece of text is their names and their dates. And then down below, sort of smallish, is the précis of what they did and why we should know about them, why they're important in how we look at the women's movement. Now, the second interesting thing is, if you look at the ages of these ladies, they're very different. There's Lucretia Mott up at the top, and she looks like a great-great-great-great-grandmother. And then we go all the way down to the bottom on the right, and we see Alice Paul, who is a dead ringer for a girl I went with in college. I love that photo. And then ages in between. Now, we have in the archives, online in books, pictures of most of these ladies, except for Lucretia Mott, who are young, going from youth to age. And what I had to do was to decide which of these images. We can cut to that other illustration, and this kind of shows you the range. If we look at Elizabeth Cady Stanton, we can see her really as maybe a young teenager, tween at the very top, and then she gets older, going counterclockwise on the bottom. She's sitting with her 2 children, and all the way on the right, there she is, an elderly lady with wonderful white curls surrounding her face. Which one do you use her? Usually we see pictures of the ladies when they're well established, they're elderly. Susan B. Anthony, everybody knows Susan B., sitting like Whistler's mother on a chair. We were able to find one picture of her as a younger woman. And my favorite, Alice Paul, who looks so youthful and full of hope, over on the left. And then when she's at the height of her career at the top of that little grouping, when the act has just been passed, and then down below when she becomes an old lady, and she still looks like she has a lot of vim and vigor in that photo. But when do you use it? So if we can flip back to the poster of the panel again, what we decided, and this was kind of like a group decision, was sort of when they were most active. Now, Lucretia Mott, she was working for women's rights way, way, way in the past. And when we got to this moment in the timeline, she was already very old. So we used one of the old pictures. Susan was still full of vim and vigor, and she looks like she's going to take an axe handle to somebody who doesn't listen to her, and basically that's her personality, isn't it? Carrie Chapman was also kind of old when she was when the movement had hit its stride. Elizabeth Cady was in middle age. Lucy Stone was kind of youngish when she really got involved in the movement and doing most of her work. And Alice Paul, well, she was in this from her early days until sort of the end of her life, living on High Ridge here in Ridgefield. But since I remember her as the girl I went to college with, I decided to use one of her very young pictures. And that's kind of the story of how this panel evolved.
Great. Well, that's so interesting to hear. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again inside the exhibit.
Great.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.